Greetings fellow tank commanders. In this video I'm going to be showing you a game I played with the Type 5 Heavy. This is a tier 10 Japanese heavy tank armed with a 15 centimeter cannon. The game I'm playing is a standard battle on highway with 10 tier 10s on each team and 1 artillery. For this game my tank is equipped with a gun rammer, vertical stabilizer, and improved ventilation. I am using a Japanese crew which has 12 crew skills and perks. I am platooned up with Mixie360, who is also in a Type 5 Heavy. Have a look at the mini-map here because it'll help you understand how this situation plays out. It initially appeared that we had almost double this amount of tanks heading towards the city, but they ended up stopping on the high ground by our base and not moving forward, taking up a fully defensive position on this side of the map, which is something that really should only be done in the late game by the tanks that fall back from the 1-2 line, because those tanks are essentially waiting for everyone in the city to get slaughtered before they do anything. So in a situation like this, you can try to hold in the houses on the outside of the city right where I'm passing, but I'm not a big fan of that. It just gives the enemy a lot of avenues to attack you from, and if you move forwards or backwards at all, you get hit by snipers and the artillery. So Mixie360 and I headed into this courtyard, and for the most part my team had a similar idea to hang around this area and not overextend into the city. The way I've been playing the Type 5 Heavy, I always carry my HE rounds for the first shot. I like my chances of being able to do at least some damage as I'm traveling towards a position, and since this tank is quite slow, someone's most likely going to be in their defensive position before you get to yours. So the HE shells just allow you to splash a little bit of damage without having to stop and aim your shot to hit a weak spot. For this game that didn't really apply, but I get a nice shot on a side-scraping IS-7 that my heat rounds would have been ineffective against. I am so happy I had HE shells loaded for that shot. That's 1,100 damage to a Waffenträger E100. Those are 2 good hits to start off the game. With this shot here, the IS-7 peaks way too far out, and if I did have heat rounds loaded, I think I could have had a good chance of getting a full pen, but I still get a decent amount of damage, and I haven't taken any myself, but already my team is down 5 tanks. I've only been actively fighting in the city for about a minute, and already we're running the risk of getting swarmed. Because I still have the HE loaded, I do 500 damage to the M103. It would have been nice to have a heat round loaded there. I would have got a nice 750 damage, but that is part of the high risk, high reward game style when you use the different shell types. But now I've switched over to the heat rounds to do some reliable damage against these heavy tanks. Wow, I rolled 904 with a heat round. What a shot. I leave that M103 on just a few hit points though, but thankfully I'm carrying a spare Type 5 in my platoon. This is an awkward tactical situation because I'm too slow to fall back. I'm trying to hold that E5 in place, and I'm also trying to help Mixie360 out a little bit there. I got that IS-7 out of the way, but the enemy is getting more and more tanks swarming around us. Mixie360 gets a nice kill on an E4 here, but now a tier 10 medium tank is rushing him. I don't really have a shot here, but I somehow managed to get that through. That's a really lucky shot trying to help out my platoon mate, but it is not nearly enough. Now I'm in full final stand mode. I've got at least 4 tanks surrounding me. I'm prioritizing that Waffenträger E100 because that's some easy damage. I push him back, but now the enemy's coming from the left and the right. I'm trying to angle myself so I bounce shots from both sides, and it's actually working out pretty well so far. But with this amount of fire coming in, it's not going to last long. Looks like I'm just going to get the reload here. Yes, another pen. But both the STB-1 and the E5 are now finding ways to get through me, and that finishes me off. Now we can have a quick look at my armor here to see where the enemy was shooting me. It seems in the end they got through me in almost every possible weak spot, just depending on how my tank was angled. But no complaints on my armor performance that game. It definitely helped keep me alive longer to get in a few more shots. Now, I didn't stay in to watch the rest of the game, but I did have a look to see what my teammates by the base were doing. Nothing exciting was going on, so I headed back to the garage and played another game. In the post-game stats, you'll see that it looks like the E4 got 2 shots in, the Waffenträger E100 got 1, the T95 got nothing, but the WZ111 GFT did manage to get a couple shots in there and mount some kind of effective final stand. That many tanks doing nothing until the battle is already decided is quite painful. Now let's check the post-game stats and see how I did, keeping in mind that I was only actively fighting for about 3 minutes. I earned 26,000 silver with a 2x multiplier and 1,088 experience. In this game I dealt 6,156 damage, assisted with 957 damage, and destroyed 1 enemy while blocking 3,230 damage. I placed at the top of my team, earning a base XP of 725. That's not too bad for a defeat. I managed to hit all 9 of my shots and do damage with every single one of those. Mixie360 also had a decent game with 2,495 damage. He did not get those same lucky opportunities I got on the Waffenträger E100s. The enemy Waffenträger E100 managed to destroy 6 of my teammates and get 6,452 damage. That's a great performance from that tank in a close quarters fighting situation. In terms of crew and module damage, I damaged the gun and injured the loader in a Waffenträger E100, and damaged the engine in the IS-7. I had a request from George Curl to do a Type 5 heavy video. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the potential this tank has, and I'm definitely going to be sharing more videos with this tank soon. I love this tank and I call it the Sumo Bomb, based off of the 2 emblems that I put on the turret. Stay tuned for more Awesome World of Tanks videos.